In-depth sports coverage from The Athletic is now just £1 a month with an introductory offer. See the link in the description to sign up. On the basis of his heading ability, Dominic Calvert-Lewin is already an elite-level striker, and he may well have been for some time. At the time of writing, no player has scored more headers in the league than the Everton man since the start of the season, while he also finished 6th for aerial duels won in 2019-20, placing him 4th among strikers. But what makes him so effective in the air? Well, The Athletic spoke to a biomechanics expert to get the inside track on Calvert-Lewin's aerial prowess. Calvert-Lewin began the season as he meant to go on, with a towering header in North London on the opening day. An arcing Luca Digne free kick hit with pace from midway inside the Tottenham half was perfect, but Everton's number 9 still had work to do to beat Toby Alderweireld, Eric Dyer, and lastly, goalkeeper Hugo Lloris. But it's in these situations that he's fast becoming almost unstoppable, and Dr. Neil Smith, the head of biomechanics at the University of Chichester, explains why. The ability to generate good ball speed from his headers comes from the fact that he's always moving to meet the ball. You rarely see Calvert-Lewin heading from a standing still position. If he's moving towards the intended destination of the header, this means his momentum, body mass multiplied by his speed, is travelling through the ball's intended line of flight. This then helps with the pace of the header. Co-author of the book Football Biomechanics, Dr. Smith also advised Sky Sports on its documentary Cristiano Ronaldo, Tested to the Limit. He sees some parallels between the two players, particularly in the way they use their obvious physical gifts. With his lower limb power, Dominic is maybe not as strong at jumping as Ronaldo because he hasn't developed as much yet. But they've got similar stature and that same straight line pace. It's the strength to weight ratio that is key for these guys. They're both tall, relatively lean yet muscular. Both can read the flight of the ball and have consistent contact with it. Dr. Smith also stresses another key factor, exemplified by a range of goals Calvert-Lewin has scored over the past year. Dominic always has a consistent contact point of the middle of the forehead, just where the hairline meets the forehead, also referencing a match-winning goal against Burnley on December 26th last year as a great example of redirecting. It's one of the flatter parts of the head, so enables a greater surface area of the ball to be in contact, and further enables him to watch the ball right up until the contact with the forehead. If he redirects his headers, he only does so at the point of contact. He does not try to spin or glance, instead he redirects them by nodding his head towards the intended target point. According to Dr. Smith, Calvert-Lewin's header in the 3-1 loss to Bournemouth last September was also a good example of why it pays not to be static when crosses are delivered. Throughout nearly all of his goal attempts with his head, Dominic makes sure he moves into the line of flight of the ball early. This enables him to fix the gaze of both his eyes onto the ball and helps with the ability to judge the flight. Being in the line of flight helps optimise this judgment. Calvert-Lewin's progress since Marco Silva left the club has been rapid. He's started to become a penalty box poacher rather than just a striker who runs the channels, works hard and sacrifices himself for the team. His form has been the product of hard yards on the training ground and sessions in the video analysis room, first under Everton coach Duncan Ferguson, famously dangerous in the air in his own days as a striker for the club, and a man with whom he has spent countless hours honing his heading and finishing after training. And Ancelotti has been crucial too. The Everton manager has tasked Calvert-Lewin with refining his movements so he's more often on the end of the final pass or cross, with Italian great Filippo Inzaghi, a former Ancelotti player, cited as an example to follow. "I had a fantastic striker in Inzaghi, who scored 300 goals and 210 with one touch," the Italian told the BBC. A striker has to be focused in the box, and I think Calvert-Lewin understands really well, because in the box he has speed, he jumps really high, he has power. Where he's improved more is there in the box. And as these heat maps from 23 show, Calvert-Lewin now spends much more time in the opponent's 6-yard box, to the benefit of both his heading and his overall goal tally. And it's paying off, with the goals he's scored, with the reputation now developing around him, and most recently with his first England cap awarded by Gareth Southgate. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is on the rise. The Athletic is in-depth sports coverage that helps fans see the game from every angle. And Tifo is delighted to be able to offer full access to The Athletic now for just £1 per month. See the link in the description for details of this introductory offer. For football fans, that's access to the writing of journalists dedicated to your team, plus David Ornstein, Phil Hay, Daniel Taylor and many more. Not to mention over 400 full-time writers offering inside access and independent analysis of every team that you follow across every league that you care about. Get local expertise and unmatched league-wide perspective. The Athletics writers are in the bubble, on the field and behind the scenes as it all happens. Catch up, go deep, and join the conversation on the most important happenings in sports.